Welcome back, guys. This is another episode with
brother Ahmed Khalfan.
much better with the knowledge of financial freedom for me. It will be injustice if I don't talk about your, real estate area, because you are like one of the role models in Bahrain, mashallah.
Thank you.
So
Thank you so much.
I should really check those things, but I really wanted to check with you like how it goes when it comes to your philosophy or the positive change you got in your life.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm going to do my best to provide as much of my background and my understanding of how things go, and I hope this is going to be well received. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring out as much as possible the experiences, and I put a plural at the end of that, is because you have ups and downs.
Yes.
Life,
without failures,
without the bitter, you're never going to get the sweet.
Exactly.
So you have to taste both sides of life itself. And what I thought was, if you were to label it as financial freedom, it will put it definitely in a nutshell. It will allow for people to start understanding why it is that they are in this situation and not in a way where they could be free to do what they want to do.
Yes.
This takes time. This takes time. And with time, you can actually do wonders, and you would be able to reach to a stage where in the end you can say to anybody, I don't need anybody. I am able to handle things on my own, and I don't really need to do anything to be able to survive in this harsh, difficult, grueling and tough life that we are all living. And I have to say, it's not rosy, or people might look at this in their 20s, and I mentioned what age I'm reaching before this recording. But what I thought was, it's important to have a clearer direction in life earlier. And usually the closest contacts will actually give you this. Your family members, your parents, siblings. I was blessed with siblings and parents who were vocal or are vocal and able to share with me a lot of information that I might have not been able to get out there in the world. And we were mentioning earlier also about the schooling and education sector and how important it is.
Yes.
And the fact is, you can't just go on the mainstream type of education and become like 1 out of 1 million people who are learning maths and sciences and not really benefit from the experiences that people have gone through. These are sciences.
Yeah.
What's important is the humanitarian side of things, the social side of things. Is how are you able to say to yourself, you wake up in the morning, because I wake up with a lot of anxiety, and what happens to me is I wake up and I try to meditate. I try to realize why am I here, and have this blessings. You start always saying to yourself, and thank God I even woke up and I was able to breathe. And then I start to say, okay, maybe I can do something positive today, as opposed to just being greedy and going out there and trying to make money. Because in the end, money is not the reason why we're here.
Yeah.
It's not it's a tool.
Yeah.
It's a tool that allows you to do good. Some cases, some people do bad, that they will learn soon enough, right? That it's not going to be long-lived. But the idea is, what we are trying to always do is we're trying to always figure out who we are, why we are here, what are we doing. In the long run, sometimes people always think about what they have started with and what they have achieved. This is not always the best way about things. It's usually, what is the purpose that we were brought in this life for? Most of it is to do good. Most of it is to be able to have a positive influence in this life. So that afterwards, people will say good things about you. People will hail you. They will say, you have done good and you deserve to rest. So with financial freedom and real estate, I always start to put together ways in which, let's say, mechanisms in which people can actually reach to a stage where they have assets that work for them, that they don't have to work for the rest of their lives. They can have passive income. This is what our definition is for the real estate way of things, is that you get income, you earn income from assets that you own by not doing anything. So let's say this studio we're in.
Yeah.
Okay. If you actually had an opportunity to own as opposed to lease, definitely you will go for the owning.
Yeah.
But most of us, they don't have the capital to buy immediately.
Exactly.
You know, cash is king, like they say, and it's not very easy to come across it. So a lot of cases where I would be suggesting my viewers, my followers, whoever is watching, or I reach out to, I tell them, look, there is a short period of time in which there is an offer that is presented, brought to you or brought to the table. This offer allows for scheduling without any fees or interest or any cost on you. What you come in with is what you will come out with. So property pricing is not changed. You don't get it with the banking system. The plan almost matches with how much you would pay to lease out this property. So why wouldn't you take it? Risk?
Yeah.
There's risk in you going out and walking out the street. There's risk in you driving a car. I am not going to try to convince someone who doesn't really already believe that wealth is only generated through assets. And most assets are real estate. So in the end, I try as much as possible to share this. I don't give guarantees so that they don't think I'm tricking them or I'm trying to, fool people or anything. No, I tell them, look, this is your property in the end. You do what you want with it. You want to live in the property. You want to give it to your kids. You want to invest. Whatever you want, this is your property. But all I can do is I can chop up the plan in a way for you to be able to get into this opportunity, and you give yourself a timeline.
Okay.
I gave myself a timeline, and I told myself, no matter what happens, I'm not going to mess around with this timeline, because time, and it's another, it's very important factor that I need to also highlight. Time is everything. Time is absolutely everything in this life. You will never have this moment again.
Yes.
You will never be the age that you are in right now. You can become a millionaire.
Yeah.
You can become broke. You can become a millionaire again. That can go and come, no problem.
Yeah.
But the time is the issue that people always undermine. And maybe more so in this part of the world than other places, but it's because maybe it's our experience in people and time. I don't mean the people who come in 10 minutes or 20 minutes later. I mean people who waste their lives doing maybe nothing. Just saying, I have a job, this job pays me, I'm not going to risk it, I want the salary. Then, Habibi, your time is more important than the salary. Can't you see this? So this whole concept of capitalism, and we're all playing this game. All of us are in this world, part of this system, where you are a BD value or you are a dollar sign. If you are allowing yourself to accept a timing for you to enter and leave every day in exchange for
the
dollar, that means you are playing this game. Now, whether you like it or not, it's your decision. But the point is, I'm trying to show as much as possible you can play this game, but you have to have a plan. And you have to have a strategy. And you have to share this strategy with whomever you're working with. Make it clear. Tell them, listen, Anna, I have a 5-year plan. Okay? I'm being hired by you now. I probably will try my best to give you my best within this 5-year plan.
Yeah.
And then I will exit. So it becomes a clear, transparent, shared decision that you are able to give within a certain timeline.
Yeah.
It cannot be forever. It cannot be unknown. There's no reason for it to be. In the end, we all have our time in this life.
Yeah.
So you can be clear with what your ambitions are. I wasn't in the real estate sector even when I was deciding to have an opportunity, or not have, to actually pursue my own business. And then I stumbled onto real estate. Why? Because I was driving back home every day from this situation, crying, because I was saying, I'm doomed. I can't do anything. I don't have a dinar to my name. I will not get paid. I'm a loser. And this ran for quite some time.
Okay.
And then I was thinking, what am I doing? Why am I not learning from other people? And why am I not figuring this out in a way that allows for me? And at that time I was already married and I had kids.
Okay.
So I was thinking, I'm not going to allow this to mess with their future.
Yeah.
So I started thinking, okay, I have my degrees. I have my opportunity to secure a decent job that pays the bills. But I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to try to, as much as I can, as much as I'm given the opportunity, to not let other people face the situation that I face. But in the end, it's this ability for you to survive without having to really do too much. Yani what I mean is, you need to be able to work smart. When you work smart, you will be able to say to yourself, I'm going to do this for the next X number of years. What that is will depend on certain background that you have, skill sets, know-how, experience, people you know, environment you're at, so on and so forth. So what you will be able to do is, based on your earnings, you will put a timeline for yourself. And you're going to say, between this age and this age, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to make money in order for me to get money to work for me in the future. So what happens is you are trading time in a way that gets you off the hook when you are too tired to really work. I mean, how many of us are able to work in our 60s?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you don't have a plan,
then you have
for sure you will be working until your 60s.
Exactly.
If you don't have a plan. Sometimes the plan is given to you. Sometimes you have to create the plan.
Exactly.
In many cases, you have to create the plan.
Very true.
I went through a program for a 20-year period. I exited that program. Now, why I exited is because I was in a situation where I needed to exit and I had to start from scratch. But at the same time, when you start from scratch, in your 40s, it's not like starting in your 20s. Starting from scratch in your 40s, you have so much knowledge. You have so much experience. You can do what you would do in your 20s in 10 years, you can do it in 1 year. This is the difference. So you have to be able to plan for this financial freedom. You have to be able to be realistic. And you need somebody to help you figure out what this is. It can't be the same in different stages of your life. There are different scenarios in different stages of your life. Somebody needs to be able to be smart enough to
tell you,
assess, and actually assess. There would be questions that need to be answered, It's like a doctor when they give you a prescription. They're not just going to give you a prescription just by seeing you. Some doctors might do that, but I mean, in circumstances where it's a bit complicated, they need to really diagnose the situation and then figure out, okay, this is the best way for you to move forward. We don't really have this here. Okay, yani, we don't have what they used to call it when we were in school. Those advisors for
counselors.
Yes.
Really, huh?
Well, the idea
is new.
It's new.
New to this.
I didn't have a counselor in school. Maybe I did, but nothing really happened with them. They didn't really sit you down and tell you, listen, you like in the movies. Why does it always sound like in Hollywood? It's so glitz and glamour and all of that, and it's actually there.
Yes.
It's not. People don't really know it. If I really sit with you and I tell you, you give me 5 minutes of your life, okay, and I'll tell you, I think there's an opportunity that will fit you very well in this scenario that you have just presented to me. And why would I know this? Because I may have had
similar experience.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I may have known in the scenario where I was in this situation, the only thing that made me survive was adopting this strategy.
Okay.
And what was this strategy? It could be something that you already are able to do, and just not in a position to realize that this will make you successful in your timeline here, and let's say pay your bills. I'll give you a very, very, very simple example. I have a brother who's a doctor. Far from what the story I'm going to tell you presents itself. When we were kids, and I mean kids, like we were young, we felt that it would be best if we would earn a little bit of money in order for us to have a little fun. You know, go to the supermarket and buy stuff and, you know, things kids do. Instead of asking our parents, how could you make money when you're so young? Some would say, I don't know, you know, try to find a simple job or simple role or simple thing. It's not really out there. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
He came across, and this is the trick, is how do you come across something? He came across, back then there was no Google Translator.
Yeah.
And there was this company that would pay you hundreds of dinars, if you translated an advertisement that this company has created from Arabic to English. Simple.
Okay.
And it was from Arabic to English, which is nothing simpler than that.
Yeah.
Very straightforward. But it was not announced. It wasn't being circulated where a lot of people would take this job and would be able to
jump for it.
They were lucky, and I was lucky, because we completely drained that company. We were translating like crazy. We were getting thousands of dinars.
MashaAllah.
And the funny thing was, what happened with that money is we gave it to our parents.
It's not for you then.
It wasn't for us. It turned out to be a life lesson. Is you don't have to do something complicated. You don't have to invent something. It's not rocket science. You can do something simple, know that it is needed, and just be able to figure out whether it can be monetized or not. And this is another issue that I faced later in life. I started thinking before planning and acting on this thought and then suffering the consequences.
Okay.
So what happened was, I thought that maybe it's time for me.
This is after the trigger and everything, and you.
That was just before that was before the actual trigger. And that was the time where I got built up into a situation that I faced, and it was a very difficult situation, and it may be the cause of it, but the real purpose for me to get into it was sharing knowledge. It was to try to share knowledge with people. It costed me a lot. I couldn't monetize it.
Okay.
And reason why is because I didn't have a clear
plan for it.
It wasn't strategized properly. And in the end, I learned dearly, and better avoid doing something like this unless it's very clear, or take it step by step. And my true respect comes to you in terms of what you are doing and controlling what you are doing and being able to deliver and maintain quality assurance and everything, but at the same time you have to be able to control it.
Yes.
So in the end, my suggestion is always, if you are not told by close contacts of yours that, we can help you learn more about life moving forward and figure out things, ask for it. And this is I always try to do is I'm not shy when it comes to asking.
MashaAllah.
Yeah, sometimes there's this notion, and the man always tries to avoid asking the question because you don't want to look like a fool. I don't care about looking like a fool. It's faster for me. When we're traveling and whenever we're out there, I always make it a point as soon as I want to find out something, I ask. And I get the answer or not, at least I tried. At least I tried to do what a lot of people would say, I'd rather figure it out myself. No, don't figure it out yourself. Don't reinvent the wheel. Why would you do that? Right?
Very true.
The wheel is already invented. Don't do it again. So a lot of these factors people tend to either overlook and say, I'm still young, I'll
manage it.
And a lot of people fall in this trap of the constant what are they? Basically, they just keep at it, and in an aggressive way. This grunt, this life, right?
Cribbing around that same thing.
Yeah. So what's going to happen 20 years down the line? Do you have a plan? No, I'm doing a lot. So what is it? What are you doing for yourself?
Yes.
Right? So that's my overall notion as to financial freedom.
The transformation
I had. What I realized, and I was actually schooled big time. Towards it.
Now, what if I ask you like 3 things you would have changed at teenager time?
I would have shortened my planning as to not allow a lot of time to be spent doing one particular thing. I would be chopping it down. And this is very unique, that way of thinking. You'd say to yourself, I'm not going to say, what am I going to look like, or who am I going to be 5 years down the line? You say, I want to know how I'm going to be 2 years down the line. And maybe even 1 year down the line. But the fact is, you need to be able to take action accordingly. And you would have, what are targets in sales? Targets are how much time do you have in fulfilling such revenue generation within your organization? So it can't be forever. Pointless. Why are companies putting out quarterly results? Because they need to show their shareholders how they're doing now.
Right.
Not after 5 years.
Right.
So imagine, let that be your way of thinking. So let's say you are telling yourself, I've gained weight. It's not good for me. It's bad for my health. I'll have a lot of problems in the future if I don't shed this weight and stay fit. What's the timeline? Some people say maybe I'd say 1 year or something like that.
Yeah.
For
1 year membership.
Right? So you need to be able to figure out, okay, I've got 3 months. I need to be able to get back in shape within this 3 months.
Yes.
Why not longer? Because it will help you health-wise, in terms of your health, in terms of your well-being,
productivity
in terms of
also.
productivity, everything. So that's one factor. I would be very keen to have probably had the opportunity to plan this out earlier in my life.
Cutting down the time
between
instead
dreams.
of thinking like I can have 5 years or
you don't have that much time.
Get down to like 10x. Yeah.
Absolutely.
10x now 100x. I don't
Absolutely.
know. Possibility.
Yeah.
No?
Absolutely. I mean, just think of how much good you would
can
do
produce
in this life if you were more. And I'm not saying this to the viewers in the sense that I'm trying to show them that what they're doing is wrong. No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is what my experience was and what I was going through was I let a lot of time pass. I learned later on that, I don't have that much time now. So now I need to work harder. So my second point that I would recommend is to work harder, is to really think that every breath you take is a blessing. Every second that you are here, a lot of people, everybody's taking this for granted. I'm certain of this. But a lot of cases, you see people who are saying to themselves, if I'm going to be given this blessing, I'm going to be earning it, and I'm going to be able to do good by it. So we wake up in the morning. Why do I have anxiety? It's because I want to do so much. It's not because I have a problem no, it's because I want to do a lot. I want to actually achieve. And for me to be able to achieve, and I don't want to be disappointed if I didn't get to what I wanted to get to by 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Or whatever timing. So I keep busy, and I keep trying to show people that what I have benefits them. Now, whether they want to go with it or not,
it's up to them.
It's up to them. But in the end, I'm not trying to trick anyone. I'm not trying to fool anyone. I'm putting the facts in place. Circumstances sometimes change.
Yeah.
You know, we were working during the pandemic. We worked before the pandemic. We're working now after the pandemic. Lots of changes happened before, during, and after. But in the end, good is good. In the end, if you are doing good by people, it will show. So I'm not talking about earnings. I'm not talking about ROI, profitability. I'm talking about building a base. I'm talking about establishing wealth. I'm talking about the ability for you to stand on your feet with nobody's help. That's it. You're sorted for life. You have something, you have some things that are helping you, that are keeping you in check, that you are actually able to survive. You are able to, and these are the tools that I'm referring to. It could be real estate, it could be other financial tools, but in the end, financial freedom allows you to do a lot of good in this life. It allows you to appreciate this life. It allows you to come out of this game that we play for so long. Some people don't get out of it forever. Like they just pass away. They pass away, and they didn't come out of it. They weren't able to finish it. So you need to be able to reach to a stage where you say, put the numbers in place, and you say, okay, this is how much I need to spend to stay in this lifestyle. So I need to be able to make this much while I'm sitting at home doing nothing.
Yeah.
How does this happen? These tools, and the only way for you to be able to gain access to them is if you plan. What we're saying, plan. We have a plan for you. We can give you a plan. The plan is within this time frame. Is it suitable for you? Yeah, it's suitable. No, actually, it's too long. Sometimes they can come back and tell you, I don't want it 7 years. I want it within 3 years. I will pay more. I said, okay, here you go. So I do the calculations. Nothing changes. It's not like I'm going to charge him more. No, it's the same thing. So this is why I believe I have something positive that I can give to people. I only hope that they can really figure out that by asking, by reaching out, and it's also our job to be able to put this out there. For us to be able to show this to people as much as we can, and to let them realize that I'm not talking about help. I'm just saying, look, if you ask, you shall receive. Okay, if you do reach out. I had a lot of mentorships during my time. I'd be getting people, kids usually. They'd be in their early 20s.
Okay.
And they'd be like, Ahmed, we love what we see, and we want to learn from you as to how to do this. And I tell them it's not about this science of being able to share knowledge. No, it's reaching to a stage where you believe that if you tell people something good, something positive that they can benefit from, whether they want to go ahead with it or not, it's up to them in the end. But at least it's something that you are sharing that's good, that's positive for them.
Yeah.
This is what matters. So they don't learn from me the ins and outs of real estate. They learn from me the ability to convince people, and the ability to how does one convince anyone? Is when they are sharing something good. I can't convince you with something bad.
Yeah.
I usually most of the time, if I'm going to convince you to do something, it's to do something good for yourself.
Yes.
So that basically puts everything in a nutshell, and it allows me to keep going with this and to be able to assist people, to be able to show people that this is possible.
Yeah.
They just need time, planning, and the timing.
So one thing is I have seen also, like, achieving goals always is like, it's not so easy. It takes time.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to real estate.
Yep.
And when it comes to real estate enthusiasts, regardless of what areas they are tapping into, for them it's like, mostly have either fake life or, full of debts, showing of things which not real also. And deep inside there is kind of, the feeling of, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
It's all just I'm showing the substance.
Yeah, true.
I'm not real authentic, outside. All things which we show is not real. Yeah. This feeling is there with, not everyone, I would say.
True.
But what is your suggestion for such people, who are into real estate, or even in the real life? It's not just about real estate.
It has a lot to do with believing in yourself.
Oh.
And being able to have these messages, these views deflect off you, because you are iron solid. You are protected by a belief. Now, I am all about social media. Okay, I grabbed hold in a strong way, and there's a reason behind it. It's not because of lifestyle-driven matters. No, to me, it was that story that I was mentioning earlier, which is I want to share. I want something that I create, share knowledge, not in the form of news, more in the form of statistics, to be able to report things, to be able to benefit the reader, the viewer, the follower from information that say, I'm going to use this for my own benefit. I'm going to take this information and thank you, Ahmed, or thank you, network so-and-so. You guys helped me earn money because of the information that you gave me.
Wow.
So this is what I was trying to do. And from social media comes free knowledge.
Yeah.
So the whole influencer situation is the opposite of the good. It is a group of leeches, I would say, because to be honest, and you think about it this way, if you were to just reach to a certain number of followers and your content is useless. I mean, just a bunch of videos and images that people would say, ooh, or something like they would comment in a weird way, in a bad way, or something like that, and follow, and you who created this network will earn money because of how many followers you have. That's not a positive way of using such a tool, right? Yeah. That's just you are leeching, or you are taking from something that was maybe designed to do good. It's a social network. Social media is a very powerful tool. I would always think it's done for good. But there are people who piggyback on it and make money. And this is now the network's responsibility to know whether these people deserve to earn this money or not. But usually it's all about the numbers. Yeah. I mean, if you have a million followers and your content is useless, you will still earn money. Yes. It's not like they're going to say, oh, your content is useless, you shouldn't earn any money. No, you will. So this is where there are these gaps where you as a viewer, you should be able to and I remember my wife told me very clearly the other day, because I like following accounts with funny
memes,
and videos and stuff. Okay. Most of the time they're animals doing funny things and stuff. So I'm showing my wife every now and then, especially when we're on the weekend, and she's like, you know, this stuff is useless. Like, why are you even? And I'm thinking, like, I'm not about that, but sometimes I need to laugh. Like I feel like I want to laugh. So humor, humor. So, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with comedy. Actually, it's an art. Entertainment is an art. People should be able to enjoy it. They should be able to have entertainment and some sort of hobby. Sports isn't always supposed to be good for your body. In a lot of cases, sports is actually good for your mind. Because it puts you in a position where you have a little bit of a breather. The stress is released. You can take it easy a bit. Life is all about this yin-yang scenario. You've got certain time when you have to work and a certain time when you have to rest. Usually it has to be actually equal. It's not like in work 90% and rest 10%. No, 50-50. So the influencers, the people who have the ability to attract this number of viewers, they have a responsibility, right? Whether they like it or not, it becomes something that they need to be conscious about. They need to be able to say to people, good, or share something that those followers would benefit from.
Right.
So there's sometimes some news that comes up that they can share. Sometimes there's advertisements that are actually positive, that can actually benefit people. Whether this is advertisement is paid or not, depends. But in the end, if you are an influencer who has a lot of followers and you're not doing good in your account, you're not going to be doing good for yourself. So in the end, you would have wasted this gift that you're given and that you were able to reach to this type of fame and this type of fellowship, and you're not doing something good. It's a waste.
Waste of time.
Waste of time, waste of effort. By the time you reach to a certain level and you say, what did I do? I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything good. Like I was just wasting time and resources.
Very important question. This I have noted down. Especially someone who really represent Arab. Someone like you. So fear of losing real estate industry.
Yes.
It's kind of very less compared to other business.
True.
Kind of like here money is easy money also.
Yes.
And For Arabs, it's like, always made fun of, like, that Arabs like easy money.
True.
True. It's not just only about profits, right?
I'll tell you, time has changed. I'll tell you the notion that we may have grew up hearing or thinking, it's not the same. It's not really a walk in the park. We have quadrupled, if not further grown in terms of population as a region.
Yeah.
Our resources have been, diminished in comparison to the golden years, which I would consider being the good times in the 80s. So the idea was that you will need to start thinking more for yourself and not rely on this fast cash scenario where in the past it was possible to attain. You need to now think long term. You need to now think mature sectors and industries to be part of. So I would say you don't have to exercise it. You just need to consider being part of it. So let's say, for example, we're in the media sector, nothing to do with real estate. But you can use this industry or this sector and put in your skill sets and share and get as much out of it as possible. And then you can take these earnings and put it in the mature industries like real estate or the financial sector. So then you would have, and you won't believe how many people I know who have had 2-3 decades of experience and knowledge and know-how in media, own compounds, buildings. And why? Because they realize that if they don't take this money that they've made and not waste it and spend it immediately, they would actually put it towards something that is everlasting. It's supposed to be lasting for much longer. That's supposed to be much mature, much more mature in comparison to industries that came up more recently and they are service-based and you don't know if they can go up and go down in no time. So that would be their savior. That would be their way to, again, going back to the financial freedom scenario, is where they will get it. So you don't really need to have too much to get into it. I'll give you an example. In our group, what we have is a plan that allows you to own a property and start yielding from it with only 8,000 dinars. Less, maybe even in certain cases. So what you can do is you can say, Ahmed, I don't have savings, okay? But I think I can put something together.
Okay.
And I believe that this plan will allow me to secure something that will help me in the future. Because if I don't, I'm sorry, but like I'm screwed. Like I don't have any other way about it. So that's when I come up with a solution with this person. I tell them, look, we currently do have a plan.
Okay.
Where you would be able to only plug in 15%. 15%. And if you can manage to bring 15% of the value of this property forward, then we have something here. And then what ends up happening is gone are the days now where you need capital to invest in real estate. So you don't need 100,000 dinars.
Yeah.
You know? So that becomes within itself a tool to allow you to say, okay, I know that it's going to take me 7 years before I can really start enjoying the income that is generated from this property.
Yeah.
But at least I had a chance to come in on it. I personally, and I know that sometimes people avoid doing this, but like I'm a testimonial. I am myself, I'm a testimonial. I bought a property just like that with minimum down payment. It's not even considered a down payment. This is less than a down payment in other parts of the world or in the financial sector. And I immediately leased out the property. I put it in, I leased it out. To date, I doubled the amount that I paid towards the property so far in rent. Wow. And I could have been smart enough to take all of that money that I made and dump it in the property. But I'm a bit, I don't know, I would say that, I was splurging, So I kind of took that money, not splurging, but like, I was able to take some of that money and put it towards schooling for my kids. I was able to take this money and pay off credit card bills and, that kind of thing. So I could be more refrained and I would be more controlled. But sometimes that's boring, right? Sometimes in life, you want to, you travel, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how much, it costs you a lot to travel.
Yes.
Okay. Would you think that I just won't travel? I'll just
save on it.
Save. So then what? Then what?
What's the point of life?
What's the point of life? Right?
Yeah.
What's the point of life? So plan, but don't go too much on yourself.
Yeah.
Plan and leave some
part
opportunity. Yeah. By the way, the time that I most invested was in the toughest time.
Really?
In the pandemic. Why? Because I had the notion that, oh my God, look at this life. Like what's going on? We can't even travel.
Yeah.
We can't even enjoy. We can't do anything. Okay, what am I going to do with this money? Invest. So that's what I did. I decided, and this was, to be honest, in many cases, people come out from very difficult times with something better than what they had if the difficult times didn't happen in the first place.
It's law of nature.
Law of nature. Again, the whole bittersweet kind of scenario. It's so
this
true.
Is true, yeah.
It's so true. You have to
go through
face,
the pain,
absolutely. And the fact is, if you don't, you just won't. If you don't face a difficult situation, and that's very, very uncommon for anybody to not face a difficult situation. I try as much as possible to say to people, you're going to be fine, but don't think that you're going to have a better situation later. Think that you're going to have a worse situation later, so that then you plan
for that,
for that scenario. Yeah. And trust me, I know for a fact, like this is what's going on. It only gets worse. But not. You try as much as possible not to be negative. You always enjoy it in the end. Learn from your own mistakes and figure out if it's going to get worse, I will get tougher.
Yeah.
I will be more capable to handle the worse, so that it becomes even better.
Interesting.
That's the rationale. And you're not going to be you 10 years down the line. Okay?
For sure.
You're going to be a different person, hopefully a better, stronger, more righteous, maybe even tougher individual, but also, inshallah, always smiling like you are now. You always will have that positive nature in you. So this is the evolution that people will probably, whether they realize it or not.
Yeah.
A lot of people will probably
by
say
nature it is there. Yeah.
There. So that's what the part that I would need to say, if I have an opportunity, if I ever do, and I think I have been given this in many different, let's say,
stages of life.
Yes, in life, I would rather be a teacher. I would actually rather spend my time teaching and sharing knowledge, and I don't care when they would, a lot of people would probably say, oh, but this line of work doesn't pay or whatever. Not everything is about money.
Yeah.
You should be able to know what will give you fulfillment most. Is it money? If it is, then maybe this is not going to work for you.
Yeah.
Maybe this is not going to be your calling. A lot of people, they choose to be big investment bankers and, they're just like making us so much money. That could be, for them, the best case scenario, because that money that they make, they use it for good. So they realize they can only enjoy life if they were able to have access to that kind of money.
Yeah.
So they actually focus a lot on making this possible for them. For me, it's not the case. For me, it's knowledge. It's always been knowledge. And only I can do it. Only I can share it, not my money. So I won't really take that direction of being a philanthropist, because it just doesn't suit
knowledge
me.
sharing is one of the ways you want to contribute.
Is the way for me. For me, I would be able to see myself 10 years down the line in either in an institution or in a...
You are already in the institution.
Exactly.
Doing it.
Exactly. So the idea is in doubling down on it and being...
Get more
effective in it and support the community more in that.
So when it comes to real estate, real estate, is it only about profit and money and savings and taking care of yourself in the future, or there is any purpose? Because I know for a fact, like one of the writers, he's like not properly writer, he's bestseller actually.
Sure.
So he comes from I think you know him,
Yes.
Robert Kiyosaki maybe.
Yes.
So his idea is that one of the talks he gave, this was maybe private talks, he said money is like, it is going to come.
Yeah.
He's certain about it. He's dead sure that it's going to be like, by nature it's coming to you. He has, the way he has gone through, the way he has experienced, he's dead sure now about the money. But one thing he wants to do is like contribute now. So, in what way you can contribute from real estate?
Well,
because it's not either it's a growing business. It's
Absolutely.
like the prices are always growing.
Absolutely.
It's not like gonna be like reducing.
Not only that, there's also the tendency that how like they always say money makes money, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In real estate, when you are generating, and especially when your property is well managed, usually the biggest and the largest number of billionaires and millionaires in this time are real estate owners. And why is that possible? Why is that predicament very clear? It's because wealth generates wealth. What happens is you buy one little apartment. That apartment, if you are not in need of that property, will generate for you money that you will never imagine would be possible. Because you will not be aware until you actually experience it. And a certain timeline, let's say 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line of owning this property, you will look at your numbers and you say, what? I actually made this much from this property? That's like X percentage of the value of the property.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So now, okay, like that means that this works and that I should be doing more in this arena.
Yeah.
But what is good